Hello everyone, I'm Funky. Today, we'd like to present cloud computing to all of you. This is our agenda. First, we will define what cloud computing is, and its history and types of cloud computing. Next, we'd like to talk about the development of cloud computing and its application. In cloud computing, the word cloud is used as a metaphor for the internet. And cloud computing is the delivery of computing service, including servers, storage, database, networking, software, etc., over the cloud to offer faster innovation, flexible resources, and economic of scale. So it can help companies to lower their operating costs, run their infrastructure more efficiently, and scale as their business needs. Cloud computing was a gradual evolution since 1950s. In that time, organizations have been using an increasingly complex and ever-changing system of mainframe computers to process their data. In this period of time, mainframe computers was huge and probably much more expensive than nowadays. So organizations tend to purchase one or two machines and one or two more machines and then implement time sharing schedules so that their return on investment was as great as possible. So with time sharing, several users could access a mainframe computer from connected stations that carried on no processing power of their own. And this type of shared computational power is the basis of the cloud computing. And cloud computing is started developed after that. Around 1970, the concept of virtual machines was created, and in 2002, Amazon provides first public cloud, AWS, providing service like storage and computation. And in 2009, Microsoft launched Windows Azure, and companies like Oracle and HP have all joined in the cloud computing framework. And this proves that cloud computing has become mainstream today. There are three types of cloud computing, which are public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Public clouds are owned and operated by a third-party cloud service providers, which deliver their computing resources like servers and storage over the internet, and people can access this service and manage their account using a web browser. Private cloud refers to cloud computing resource used exclusively by a single business or organizations that and can be physically located on the company's on-site data center. And hybrid clouds combine public and private clouds, bound together by technology that allows data and applications to be shared between them. By doing so, hybrid cloud can give business greater flexibility, more development options, and help optimize their existing infrastructure, security, and components.
Now I will talk about the potential future developments of cloud computing. The first major development is the integration with Internet of Things, also known as IoT. IoT and cloud computing are different concepts, but they actually do have a lot in common and they complement each other very well. A good example is the data processing. With IoT, a lot of data is produced from the devices and it can be difficult to process all the data efficiently without the dedicated algorithms or equipment and such. This issue can be solved by making use of cloud computing to access some service from some specialized business so that large amount of data can be processed very efficiently. The integration of IoT with cloud computing will also enable some new types of business. For example, the smart home concept that is a very well-known example for the application of IoT. And with cloud computing, some business can offer a whole package of products to their clients. including the home appliances, the monitor and control platform, or even some lifestyle analysis service and such. It will also enable automation of certain industries by centralizing the process of data analysis and regulating the production process. And here are some areas in which cloud computing can improve in the future. Now, the main concern is the privacy and security. Since by using the cloud computing services, you are giving the service providers full access to a lot of your personal info or confidential info if you are a large firm. And if a security leak happens to the providers, then a lot of your personal information will leak out. Also, if they are the service providers, if they are unethical, they may violate the terms of service and sell your info to other third parties in order to make profit. So these issues will raise a lot of concern about the reliability of these cloud computing services, and they need to be addressed. Next up is the quality of the service provided, namely the access speed and the storage space. So as a normal consumer, maybe you are now using the cloud storage services such as Google Drive or OneDrive, and you will be concerned about how much storage space you could have, how much you can access, and how accessible they are. That means the connection speed. And the big firms will also be concerned about these problems. Maybe they are hosting the database there and they want them to be larger or cost less and the speed of access. Now, service providers can always improve on these areas in order to provide the better services to the consumers. And with the recent developments in the 5G technology, we can expect a huge improvement in accessibility of the cloud services in the near future.
So right now I'm going to talk about a few common applications of cloud computing. So one very common that we all use would be online storage. So you could store anything online on cloud, you name it. For example, music, videos, files, anything, you can just store it online through cloud computing. And another very common application of cloud computing would be using softwares online. So you don't have to download the software onto your desktop. You can just make use of a web browser and get access to the software. For example, photo editing software, word processing software, as well as presentation software. And this thing actually came as a surprise to me. The Google Doc that we use, the Google Maps that we use, is actually a cloud service. I was not aware of this before, but yeah. So right now I'm gonna give a little more detailed explanation of the applications of cloud. There are three different models of cloud services. The first one is a software as a service. As the name suggests, you are only using the software as a service. So common users are end users like me and you. And one common example of software as a service would be the Google Drive that we use on a daily basis to get our projects done. So think about it. When you're using the Word doc online on Google Drive, do you really care how it's being saved? Where is it being saved? No, right? You have no idea, but you're just using the software as a service. So you have very less access to the background thing that's going on. Like you don't know the network, you don't know the storage place, but that's not your concern anyway. The next that would give you a little more access would be the platform as a service, which is commonly used by developers. Now, in this type of service, they have a little more control over the deployed applications and the application hosting environment for configurations, but they're still not really managing or controlling the underlying cloud infrastructure that would include the network, the servers, or the operating systems. Now, the last model of cloud service would be the one that would give you most access to the infrastructure of cloud computing is infrastructure as a service, which is usually used by system admins, where you get a virtual machine, you get a virtual storage, you get a virtual network. So you're pretty much using these things, you're handling these things, you have more access to how to handle these things. And just to give you guys a simple conclusion, I'll simplify what's cloud computing for you. So assume you want to be a businessman or a businesswoman, and when you start up a business, you're going to have many departments, right? So one of the major departments that you're going to be having is your IT department. And now in your IT department, one thing that you're going to be doing is storing information, storing a lot of perhaps invoices. So for that, you can either own your own IT storage or you can give it out to cloud. So But when you give it out to cloud, you'll be really tension free because if you own your own storage machines, then you'll have to maintain them, make sure go they don't crash and you don't lose all your data. But if you just give it to cloud, you're pretty much tension free. But you might want to consider the downsides, such as you might be giving out your private information of the company to an external party. So you might want to consider a hybrid cloud strategy as suggested by my groupmate at the very beginning of the presentation by combining a on-premises infrastructure with a public or private cloud, considering your own preferences to build your own IT department. Now that's a wrap from us. Thank you very much.